Today on Fox News at 4, Governor Kay Ivey stops an execution. Why she says letting one inmate live could help protect the death penalty in Alabama.
And should Alabama students be able to pray before class? Lawmakers are debating a bill right now that could put that question on your ballot. We have live reporting.
And we are getting ready for the potential of severe weather later this week. We're thinking Wednesday night. It could get rowdy around here. We'll look at the timing with your Futurecast coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
It's a Tuesday. I'm Lenise Lagan.
And I'm Shelby Myers. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 10 News at 4.
And first today, for just the second time, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey commuting a prisoner's death sentence.
Yeah, we reported yesterday that Charles Sonny Burton was scheduled to die Thursday. Burton, now 75, was convicted and sentenced to death for the 1991 capital murder of Doug Battle in Talladega, though he was not the person who fired the shot that killed Battle.
Ivey granting the commutation after speaking with representatives of Battle's family, which is required by law, as well as the state attorney general, Steve Marshall. Marshall now criticizing the governor's decision, saying Burton should not be given special treatment because he's old, adding that, quote, longstanding Alabama law recognizes accomplice liability as every judge that has touched this case over 3 decades.
Meanwhile, Charles Burton's legal team had this to say, quote, this decision ensures that the ultimate and irreversible punishment will not be carried out. The governor's action reflects careful consideration and affirms the principle that justice must always leave room for caution, humanity, and mercy.
Burton will continue to serve a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And now to the conflict in Iran, as American forces are carrying out the most intense strike so far.
Yeah, today military leaders providing an update while also defending the timeline of this operation. Fox 10 Washington correspondent Stephen Goyen has the details from Washington.
Today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran.
The conflict with Iran intensifying even further, according to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
First, let me start.
In a Pentagon update today, U.S. military leaders characterizing Iran as now isolated and badly losing the fight.
They're adapting, as are we. Of course, we are watching what they're doing, and we are adapting faster than they are.
According to Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dan Kane, U.S. strikes have limited Iran's abilities, with Iranian missile attacks down 90% and drone attacks down more than 80% since the start of Operation Epic Fury. The U.S. hitting more than 5,000 targets so far, according to the Pentagon, including 50 naval vessels. The next phase of the operation, Kane says, involves targeting the infrastructure behind Iran's military operations.
Again, focusing on centers of gravity to get upstream of the shooters out in the field in order to deny them the ability to continue to generate those one-way attack drones.
Now, more than 10 days into the conflict, Hegseth also pushing back on comparisons to previous Middle East wars. He said President Trump will decide when and how this conflict ends.
You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building. The president is leading. He's determining where we want to go, what the outcome will be, what the end state is.
Now, we have been hearing some mixed messaging from President Trump about how long this conflict could last. Just yesterday, he said things could end soon, but he also said, quote, the U.S. has won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. In Washington, I'm Stephen Gowen.
And we will continue to keep you updated on the latest information on air right here and on fox10tv.com, but also on our app, which I have pulled up for you right now. If you go under the menu section, click under news, hit national, there you will see a list of all of the stories that we are also following nationwide, like the conflict there in Iran. You can see one story here that I'm just going to click on here that we updated for you just 40 minutes ago. All of this content can be found here. And if you go to the home screen and look at the very bottom where it says alerts, you will see that's where all of your missing content is. So if something happens and we push it to the app and you forgot to look at it, it'll be gathered right there at the bottom. Again, the Fox 10 News app is available for you, whether you have an Apple, an Android device. Just go ahead and download that. It is a free download, and really it's a great tool to have right in the palm of your hand.
All right, Lenise, let's take a look at Alabama politics now. Should the school day start with prayer? You could have the final say at the ballot box if lawmakers pass a bill giving that option. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro is live outside of the State House with the latest on what lawmakers have decided.
Members of Alabama's House of Representatives debated this bill for nearly 3 hours, ultimately voting to pass it in just the last 20 minutes. This bill would require local boards of education to adopt policies that would allow students to voluntarily do a daily prayer, and that could be from the Bible or any other religious text. This prayer would happen before normal school hours, and lawmakers did remove a controversial 25% funding penalty for local boards of education that repeatedly failed to have students recite the Pledge of Allegiance daily. That's another part of this legislation. The bill's sponsor says bringing prayer back into schools would be beneficial to society, including grounding students in their religious beliefs. However, many Democrats shared concerns that the policies would isolate students who are not religious or who do not practice Christianity.
Because I think once you read this bill, I don't see how you can vote against it after the amendment is passed. And I would, if you're the faith of what you think that I would hope that you would be, is I think everybody would promote prayer in school and prayer anywhere.
I'm just afraid and that fear that any child might be put in a position where he feels unwelcome or she feels unwelcome.
Democrats did bring a few amendments to this bill. Some of them passed, some of them didn't. One of the ones that did not pass was brought by Representative Lands. She wanted to bring about a change to this, making this instead a moment of silence bill, arguing that students could choose to pray or not pray during that moment of silence. Representative Ingram quickly spoke out against this, saying that the provision would essentially strip what he's trying to accomplish with this bill. And this bill now moves on to the Senate for consideration. Live at the State House, Jessica Umbro, Fox 10 News.
Alabama lawmakers are considering a bill that would toughen penalties for fentanyl and copycat versions of the drug. Senate Bill 309 by Senator April Reaver would lower the amount needed to trigger felony charges. As little as 1/2 gram could qualify.
And it would also put fentanyl mixtures and the chemicals used to make it on the same level as pure fentanyl, with penalties ranging from 3 years to life in prison. Officials say the bill would not affect legally prescribed fentanyl. If the bill passes the Senate, it heads to the House.
A new now at 4, Mobile is going big this 4th of July. The city saying it wants to make this year's holiday very special, and that's to mark the nation's 250th birthday. Our Brendan Kirby is in the News Center to tell you more about it. And Brendan, of course, it's got to start with fireworks.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise. The city that likes to say that it was born to celebrate plans to up its game when it comes to pyrotechnics. But that's just part of the story. City leaders say they're working on some things that they're not ready to talk about yet. One thing we do know, the city is going to crack open a time capsule at Fort Condy. The city buried it during the bicentennial celebration in 1976 with instructions to open it on July 4th, 2026. The council today also considered a resolution to amend its contract with Pyrotechnico Fireworks, Inc. to increase the budget for fireworks from $45,000 to $60,000. Mayor Spiro Cheragatis says that he's looking forward to a special celebration.
One thing we know, we need to make the fireworks display big, and that's what today was about. You don't turn 250 every day, and we want to make sure that we properly celebrate our country. And what better way to do that than some explosions and fireworks and lights in the sky, near the battleship or wherever we choose to celebrate.
The city council plans to vote on the fireworks contract next week. As for the city's other plans, those are to be determined. Reporting live in the News Center, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.
Well, taking a live look outside, not so bad in this shot, but maybe not the best day overall to shoot fireworks. Overcast in some areas out there, but quite warm.
Yeah, very warm. I ran into some light rain out there, not nearly enough to get rid of that 2-inch thick layer. I have on my car. I'm so embarrassed. Let's get an update with our chief meteorologist. Jason, I am that person that always has my car clean. And I tell you right now, it's matching the color of my sweater. It's a black vehicle.
You can't keep it clean in this kind of condition.
No.
Yeah, you could just wait until it rains. That might help a little bit.
Yeah.
So we are going to see some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast that may help some with the pollen, but also will bring a low-level severe threat to the forecast area. I wanted to lead off with this. And what we're going to see is that it should be quiet tonight, so we don't expect problems. Tomorrow morning, some fog around, and it looks like another warm day. You know, and a record high potentially today. The gauge says we hit 84. The existing record was 83. So another extraordinarily warm day tomorrow with a few isolated showers in the picture, but no severe weather during the day tomorrow. The rough stuff wants to come in late, and we think it could be as late as 3 or 4 a.m. with the storms arriving into the area. The high-res model brings it in very late and into the early morning hours of Thursday, and this will move through quickly. The best thing about this is the timing. It's going to come through in the early morning hours when our instability is the lowest. That's when the atmosphere is not as volatile as it would be in the afternoon. The dynamics are also lifting out as well. I'm going to have more on the timing of that line, the showers and storms, and your full outlook coming up. In the meantime, partly cloudy skies right now. Lenise mentioned a few isolated showers. There's not much going on in Mobile County or Baldwin County presently, but we do have a few showers to the north. They're very isolated. Down at the beach, not a bad day. We're going over to a moderate rip current risk right now, but almost has that summer look to it at the beaches. We're at 77 degrees in Orange Beach with our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network. Here's what we're seeing for the next 10 hours with the numbers. It will be very mild tonight. Many spots will not even make it out of the 70s tonight. We could easily be in the 70s or right at 70 degrees for an overnight low. We'll have a persistent southerly flow through the overnight hours. Tomorrow looks like another very, very warm day with temperatures getting to 82 in Mobile and 85 in Chatham and Evergreen, 84 in Bruton tomorrow. Extremely warm. This is ahead of a front which will bring in storms that also bring in some cooler weather. We'll break all that down in your complete outlook coming up shortly.
All right, Jason, we will stick around for that. Meantime, the Dumbwaiter Invitational wrapping up today at the Steelwood Country Club in Loxley.
They are so good, so talented. This is a yearly event featuring the best high school golfers from across the area. Our Stephen Moody has more on the tough competition.
It's year 3 for the Dumbwaiter Invitational, and once again, athletes show their skills in Loxley. You won't find better competition anywhere else.
This field is very, very good. Some of the best teams in the state of Alabama and Louisiana and Georgia are all here. And I mean, these guys I think there's 20 kids that are committed to play college golf in the next 2 years. Either they're seniors or juniors. And then there's some freshmen there's a freshman from Athens who's probably as good as anybody around.
And there's something about this course that brings the best out of these athletes. It was designed back in 1976 by U.S. Open champion Jerry Pate, and these golfers couldn't wait to be back out here. And as the tournament wraps up, this was a great learning experience for the younger athletes.
I just hope they learn how to compete. That's the number one thing, how to compete, how to do it correctly, how to understand that a lot of the younger guys are not as, they're 14 years old, they're 13 years old, and they're playing against guys that are 18. The 18-year-old is stronger. He's going to hit the ball further most of the time. Hopefully they'll learn how to just not get frustrated, hang in there, keep working, and good things will happen as they get a little older.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, here's your traffic tracker right now with our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network, and it looks pretty good across the area. We're not seeing any major delays yet, but there are a couple areas we're watching. One is getting into the Wallace Tunnel eastbound on I-10. You can see the slowdown starting around Virginia Street. That's going to continue into the tunnel. It's also slightly slower coming back westbound, coming over from Baldwin County. And another area we're watching is eastbound I-10 at the Mississippi-Alabama line near the Franklin Creek Road exit on I-10. That is slowing down slightly here, coming over from Pascagoula and heading into Grand Bay. Checking Pensacola and Baldwin County, we do not see any major delays yet, but we will be watching as we get closer to that rush hour. Another traffic update is coming up as we get closer to 5 o'clock.
Still ahead on Fox News at 4, March is Kidney Health Month, and we are continuing the conversation by telling you about an event to help raise awareness. We'll have the information in a studio interview. And then speaking of this video here, you got to see a streaking fire in the sky has thousands of people looking up, and the best of the best sign spinners taking center stage. That'll be in today's Take a Look at This. Okay, taking a live look outside. Got a little fog out there, maybe some, I don't know, condensation on the lens, you think? Yeah, it's definitely fog. Nicholas Herboso's in the studio. Fog. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching Fox 10 News at 4. Stay close.
To generation. Nothing is impossible for God.
Welcome back to Fox News at 4. Alabama ranks first in the nation when it comes to kidney disease. About 14,000 people in this state are on dialysis for kidney failure, with roughly 300 kidney transplants performed each year. Locally, the Alabama Kidney Foundation serves 1,500 patients in Mobile and Bowen counties. And this year, the Mobile Kidney Foundation Walk is coming up. It is this Saturday, and we want everyone to go out and show support. So we have the Honorary Patient Chair, Reginald Walker, who was diagnosed with kidney disease and received a kidney transplant last year. Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Thank you.
And sharing a little bit about this event. First, I would like to ask you, when you got that diagnosis, what went through your mind?
Well, honestly, it was one of those kind of things where it was out of nowhere. Because for so many years I was always active, tried to eat right, tried to basically be as healthy as possible. So when I received that diagnosis, it was kind of like a big blow to me, because I was like, wow, where did that come from? So it was a lot to process at the time and a lot to take in, because I would have never expected. You always heard of people being diagnosed with kidney disease or having to go on kidney dialysis, but me being 30 years old at the time, I would have never imagined that it would have happened to me.
Especially since in your mind you were doing all the right things. That's what this walk, though, is about. It's about increasing awareness of who might be, susceptible to this. And I know you volunteer a lot. What drew you to the foundation? Why did you get involved?
Well, whenever I was younger, I used to go to UMS, and our major volunteer event at UMS was the kidney walk. And from then on, I was able to kind of sink my teeth more into the information and awareness about kidney disease. And it really hit close to home for me in that way.
The walk is this Saturday. It is coming up fast. Last year, Fox 10 was there. You're looking at video right now. A great turnout. In terms of bringing all of this together, volunteers are a huge part of that.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to see for this weekend?
Oh, for this weekend, I just would love for all of our Mobile community to come out and support kidney patients. All the funds that are raised here stays here. We help kidney patients with their daily living needs. We help them where they are today, whether that is help with their water, utilities, or transportation to and from dialysis. This walk is not just it's not just a fun party, it is it is, but it's a way to help people realize that our kidney patients realize that they're not alone in this, and that we can all celebrate them together.
That's a good message. On that note, now that you're on the other side of this, what would you add to that?
With Alabama having such a high number, I'm pretty sure most of the viewers here and many people, their families, their friends, we all know someone who is battling kidney disease or facing, the issues of kidney disease. So this walk really brings out an opportunity to shine light on so many people that are dealing with it, and also be able to really come together as a community to support everyone around us in the city of Mobile and Baldwin County, that we're here and we can make the steps forward to have a better life.
Thank you. Thank you both for your time towards this cause and for coming in today. And yeah, let's take the right step and get out there this weekend. You've got the information on your screen. It is Saturday, registration at 8, but the walk is going to start at 9. We'll have this on Fox10TV.com in case you weren't writing it down. Thank you again, and look for that shortly on the website.
Well, you look at this, you'd almost think it was summertime with the little cumulus clouds building up in the distance, a little bit of haze coming in there. This is from our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network here, downtown Mobile's Dolphins Cam. And we do have some blue skies and some sunshine mixed in with some clouds. Not a lot of rain out there today, but there are a few spots we're going to check out in a minute. Our changes come later, and it'll start with after record highs in some parts of the area today. We'll have a very mild night tonight. And of course, we're going to see some fog development tonight with these really unseasonably mild temperatures. We'll have patchy fog and some low clouds to start things out on Wednesday. Taking you through the day on Wednesday, partly cloudy skies with isolated showers tomorrow. We've seen very little rain today. We have seen a little bit, though. Tomorrow, we've got a slightly better chance at 20% for light showers. No big thunderstorms expected tomorrow. That's going to come tomorrow night, and a lot of it will happen while you're asleep. This may even wake you up in the middle of the night because a squall line is expected to approach the area in the early morning hours of Thursday. Now, this is one model. It can be off by a couple of hours here either way, but we're thinking generally after 2 a.m. that a line of showers and storms will approach the area and then move through. And we expect that to happen between about 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. That is the most likely time frame to contend with these storms. They should weaken as they move into the area as well, but there is a low-level severe risk with these storms as they move through. It is a March storm system. We're just having it come through in the very early morning hours when instability is a little lower. So what we have right now, the current outlook from the Storm Prediction Center is for a slight risk of severe weather, mainly north and west of us. It does just touch a little bit of Clark County, Washington County, and also Greene County, but most of us are in that level 1 marginal risk on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest for severe weather, and that would be for primarily the early morning hours on Thursday. Meanwhile, it is quiet on radar in our area with a few exceptions. There have been some little bitty showers up into Washington County this afternoon. They haven't been lasting long. We've also seen a few of these up into Clark County in the Thomasville area. Brief showers. Some of these were a little bit closer to the coast and along I-10 earlier this morning. Our temperatures today, 83 is the existing record. We have unofficially broken that record at 84 degrees at Mobile Regional Airport. Pensacola looks like the record's safe, but in Evergreen, we've hit 86 today, so it is unseasonably warm, and that's going to change. We've got our storm tracker alert situation for Wednesday night and early Thursday morning with that marginal risk of severe weather, and a rain chance on Thursday is 80%, but that is going to be primarily in the morning, and by Thursday afternoon, we're going to have sunshine, a high of only 67 degrees on Thursday, and we will drop into the low 40s Thursday night. You will need jackets Friday morning. This will be a big change after how warm it's been lately. It's about a 40-degree drop from tomorrow afternoon to Thursday night down to 42. Highs only in the low 70s on Friday. It will feel wonderful on both Friday and Saturday. We could see an isolated shower Sunday, and another front is moving in, and behind that, much cooler air. And next week, we could even see some 30s at night, reminding us that we're still trying to finish out winter here. And we're going to continue to see a couple of cold snaps here on the tail end of that pattern.
All right, Jason, thank you. A bright and reportedly loud flashing streak across the sky had thousands looking up, but some ducking for cover when debris reportedly rained down from what experts believe was a meteor bursting into flames. You got to see it. Jeremy Roth has it in today's Take a Look at This.
Eyes were on the skies across parts of Western Europe after a bright flashing fireball was seen and reportedly heard tearing across the evening sky. According to the International Meteor Organization, more than 2,800 sightings were reported in places like Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, with dozens of videos of the surreal event uploaded and shared. According to the German news outlet RTL, some eyewitnesses claimed they heard enormous bangs as the event unfolded, and there were reports of at least one house damaged by falling debris, but no injuries were reported. Officials with the European Space Agency believe the fireball was likely a meteor and are using available data to determine its size, which they estimate may only have been a few meters in diameter. Well, it was no streaking celestial event, but wide-eyed witnesses were mesmerized nonetheless by the dizzying promotional prowess of the competitors of the 19th Annual Sign Spinning Championships in Las Vegas. Normally spotted hawking the wares of local businesses from street corners, these skilled performers from the U.S. and beyond took center stage on Fremont Street to twirl, whirl, flip, and flop in what organizers call the ultimate competition, where sports and advertising come together. Finally, in the spirit of competition, a relic from the very first modern Olympic Games recently nabbed a hefty winning price at auction. According to the Brun Rasmussen Arts Auctioneers, this silver medal from the 1896 Olympic Games was sold at auction for roughly $179,000. The 1896 event in Athens, Greece introduced the modern Olympics era, and silver medals like this one were awarded for first place back then, with gold medals being introduced in 1904. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Lexus of Mobile is proud to sponsor the Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance, sponsored by Lexus of Mobile.
Listen, cares and fights for you every step of the way. Call or come by anytime. You never need an appointment.
Exciting news if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. Another actor looking to possibly reprise an iconic role is Elijah Wood.
In a recent interview, he was asked if he would appear as Frodo Baggins in the upcoming Lord of the Rings prequel movie, The Hunt for Gollum. And according to The Hollywood Reporter, the actor said there's a, quote, good chance that he would once again play The Hobbit, created by J.R.R. Tolkien.
I mean, can you imagine anybody else?
No, I cannot.
As
Not
Frodo?
at this point.
No. Ian McKellen confirmed his own return as Gandalf the Grey. Actor Andy Serkis will reprise his role as the title character. He's also slated to direct. The Hunt for Gollum is due in theaters December 17th, 2027.
And I just feel like with, CG, the advancement in that, and even some actors agreeing to AI, they can make it work.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. That's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Well, Sinners, one battle after another. Hamnet, the 98th Academy Awards are this Sunday, and one of those movies scored a record 16 nominations. On the latest episode of Living It Up with Lanice, I'm sitting down with two fellow movie fans from Fox 10 News to share our thoughts. We're going to break down the races, the snubs, and share our picks on who's going to take home the gold. So grab some popcorn, join that conversation. Listen now on your favorite podcast app, and if you want updates, you can subscribe to livingitupwithlanice.com.
Well, next up, we're going to dive into those big stories headlining your news at 5.
And then this.
Keep in mind it's risk-based, so the higher the credit score, hopefully the better rate.
Find out what lenders really look for before approving your home loan. It's after the break.
And get a second recliner at 50% off. Great style, great value at the Rooms to Go anniversaries.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 News.
Welcome back. Parents of high schoolers, now is the time to start talking about college. Millions of students are going to be filling out the FAFSA. They do so every year, and they don't necessarily know where to start. So we have some important information for you right now with Miss Arlene Cash and Spring Hill College to talk about getting started with that FAFSA form. And first, for those who are watching and they're like, Another acronym. What is that? What is FAFSA?
Well, the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And even though it says federal student aid, really it's the gateway to almost all financial aid in higher education.
Yes, because oftentimes you'll hear people say, well, I make too much money, but it's not just loans. It can also be grants.
Absolutely. In fact, it's mostly grants. Certainly, almost anyone can get a loan with the FAFSA because it is federal aid, and you have to do the FAFSA to get any federal aid. But the Pell Grant, which is a federal grant, the Stafford Grant, and then an institutional grant. So you can get money from colleges that are need-based, and they look at the FAFSA, the information the FAFSA presents to the school, to say how much we think we can give you.
Yeah. Now, my son is a freshman in college, and so we had to go through this last year in filling out that form. How soon should students in high school start?
I would suggest the student at least look at the FAFSA their junior year and the family look at it, because there is information you need to have available when you do it. But if you start looking at it your junior year, I would say in sincerity, October 1st of your senior year. It's really the first day that it opens, and get it done then. That way, if there are any problems or adjustments that need to be made, you get it done before the colleges really need that information to produce their financial aid letters and awards.
Yeah. And how much time should you allocate? I know last year may be different because it took us all of 2 hours, but you said that was a transitional stage.
Yes.
How much time are we looking at to fill it out?
Honestly, if you've done your taxes from 2 years ago, it would take 30 minutes.
Okay.
Really, it's much easier now. Okay. They've simplified it.
And what do you think people are overlooking when it comes to these forms?
I think people forget that if you have, once again, if you have your tax forms, it's very easy to just press the button and input that information. But a lot of people, a lot of families feel like we make too much money, or it's too hard to do, or it's not worth it. But I will say, is really getting, let's say, even a $5,000 grant worth 30 minutes? I think so.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right.
It adds up very fast. Yeah. So, talk a little bit about Spring Hill, because I know you guys have resources available for the students there.
Right. So what we do at Spring Hill College is when we get your FAFSA, we'll look at two things: merit aid. What did you do in high school? What were your grades? How well did you do? How challenging was your program? And we'll offer a scholarship based on just that information. But we'll also look at your need. How much money do you need to go to fill the gap between the merit money and what it costs to come? And we try as best we can to meet that need. We also have private donations from alumni and trustees and others, friends of the college, who want to help students make it and want to help students be able to afford the aid. But that's really the most important thing, I think, with the FAFSA and the financial aid, that we do have institutional aid, we access state aid, and of course federal aid.
Okay.
And that's the very beginning, because once you get the aid, then you can make the choice of where you want to go to college.
Right.
But a lot of times families don't feel like they don't have a choice. I have to go to the least expensive college, but the sticker price is often not the real price.
Mm-hmm. So make sure you get that FAFSA filled out.
Right, yes.
Great information. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Be well.
We'll be sure to post this on fox10tv.com, and also some contact information to Ms. Cash, right?
That's right. acash@shc.edu.
All right. We'll look forward shortly after this newscast.
All right, our Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network showing a slowdown getting into the Wallace Tunnel. We'll check traffic coming up in about 10 minutes here on Fox 10 News as we get closer to the 5 o'clock rush hour, starting to see delays in the typical spots. And I want to talk about the potential for some severe weather moving into the area. And it's going to be a low-end severe threat, but there is some potential. We're thinking that tomorrow is going to work out okay. Most of the day looks fine during the day on your Wednesday. You will notice an increase in wind. It'll get breezy around the area. And then it looks like a line of storms wants to move in after midnight on your Thursday morning early and into the early morning hours of Thursday. So here we go, right around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We may see severe weather moving through. This will likely be a one and done type line based on what we're seeing right here. The primary threat would be thunderstorms with gusty winds and some hail. So we'll be monitoring that for you overnight and into the early morning hours on Thursday. And we're hopeful that Thursday will turn out to be a nice weather day. And if you've been thinking, hey, this is a little bit warm. We had a record high today, for example, at 84 degrees at Mobile Regional Airport. We had 86 in some of our inland locations today. And this is going to change the pattern. This is a front that's really going to flip things around. We're going to see a series of fronts, and another cool shot comes in next week, too. So here's the forecast for tomorrow. Not concerned about severe weather during the day tomorrow. Looks just fine, starting out in the upper 60s, mid 70s by the afternoon in Pensacola. In Mobile, we will start out right around 70 degrees. It'll be almost muggy to start the day. You'll probably need the air conditioning tonight. Temperatures topping out above 80 degrees in many spots. And if you have evening plans, I'm not seeing any rain around of significance this evening, so we're looking just fine there. Our problems come later on in that extended forecast, and then it'll be followed up by a big cool snap that'll move in. We'll talk about that potential for next week in your long-range outlook coming up in just a few minutes.
Many experts believe the housing market will stay competitive this year, which means buying a home in 2026 will require one key thing: preparation. In today's Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Rachel DePompa helps you navigate the housing market.
Planning is key when buying a home, and it's never too early to start. Cherry Dale, the vice president of financial education at Virginia Credit Union, says when you're looking at what steps you need to take, she says there are 3 things you should really concentrate on.
You want to be in the higher 600s. Credit scores range from 300 to 850. A good place to start is 600 if you're trying to kind of rebuild that. Keep in mind it's risk-based, so the higher the credit score, hopefully the better rate and you would get on that loan.
Dale says then you want to look at your debt to income ratio, or DTI. She says lenders are looking at your credit card, car loan, and personal debt. So pull your credit report and then see how much of your monthly payments are going toward debt based upon your income.
If you're at 10%, that's a pretty good place, actually. If you have no debt, that's a wonderful place to begin because you can afford more house. When you are getting to the point of getting that mortgage, you really want to stay under 40.
And finally, try to build up a down payment. Create a future home fund and automate your savings into that account. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
You use those sleep tracking apps?
I don't.
Good, because they may not be effective as you think.
A Cleveland Clinic doctor says sleep trackers carry some benefits. They use a basic technology called an accelerometer, which monitors your sleep, but he warns it's not the most reliable method of sleep tracking and can sometimes even be wrong.
So if you want an accurate look at your sleeping patterns, the doctors recommend a sleep study. That's where your brain activity is monitored while you're sleeping, and the data helps the doctor to determine what stage of sleep you're in and the quality of that sleep.
He recommends not to get too hung up on the daily numbers on your sleep tracking app, but make sure you notify your physician if you spot any alarming trends. All right, we will be right back with more coming up after this. Don't go to sleep.
For the day, alerting you first all morning long. Fox 10.
Let's get you caught up on a couple of stories we're working on for your most local news at 5. This is one I'm actually doing at 5. 3 local mothers recently accused of murdering their own children. We're talking with a psychiatrist about this troubling trend and when to know to reach out for help.
Yeah, we also have information from the city of Mobile getting ready to launch a new transit system, and you have an opportunity to give a suggestion about the name and branding, what some of you are already saying about this. These are some of the stories that we're working on for you. You'll see them in about 15 minutes.
All right, here's what we're seeing as far as the potential for active weather later this week. And looking at it right now this evening, we're not seeing any big problems. Tonight, there will be some fog, and that's like a broken record thing because every morning, really for about the last 10 mornings, we've had some fog in the area with this really warm pattern. Today, record temperatures. We made it up to 84 degrees at Mobile Regional Airport today, and that's setting the stage as we're warming up for possibly some thunderstorms in the area. Let's look at it. Here's your futurecast, and some showers will start to appear tomorrow afternoon. Our rain chances between now and to the late evening on Wednesday are going to be low. They're going to be isolated, so we don't see any severe weather until later. And then this line of showers and storms is going to come through, and this is what we call a squall line, meaning it's most likely going to be oriented basically from the south to the north, and it's going to sweep to the east across the area, and that will bring a band of storms through the area where a lot of us are asleep, but it also could impact the morning commute on Thursday morning. It's going to be a fast mover, and then it will clear out, and we've got some cooler air behind it. Now, there is some severe potential, but right now it's a lower threat. We're in the level 1 marginal risk over most of the area. There is a little bit of slight risk shading over the fringes of our inland counties to the north and west. And that's because not all the ingredients are there for severe weather. What's lacking is instability, because this is going to come through in the overnight hours. But we're going to watch that, let you know if there are any changes to that forecast. Couple of light showers popping up in the forecast area today. Washington County, Clark County, not a whole lot to it, but you may encounter one of these this evening. We had a record high of 84 degrees in Mobile today. Tomorrow, we're going to be close to that again, with temperatures in the low to mid 80s throughout the area. This warm pattern is about to shift in a big way. And checking it out, we do have that storm tracker alert for your Wednesday night, Thursday morning. The rain mainly in the morning on Thursday, and then we clear out nicely and turn a lot cooler. 42 on Friday morning, 51 on Saturday morning, highs in the 70s. Next week gets cool again. In fact, we could see some 30s next week. Look at Monday night down to 37. So, yeah, this happens in March. We warm up, we set record highs, and then we get cold again. And the ups and downs will continue in your extended forecast.
Is it a dessert or a dip?
I'm having to keep it together for this one. A Great Wolf Lodge has announced a limited time ranch milkshake. It's actually blended with vanilla ice cream and ranch dressing and comes garnished with crispy chicken, carrots, celery, whipped cream, and a little sweet and salty lime rim.
Because why not? The sweet and tangy edition is available at the Water Park Resort until May 20th. You can get it for $7.99. $8. The closest Great Wolf Lodge would be Columbus, Georgia. I think there's one in LaGrange also. Been to that one. I was telling you, Shelby, my son loved Great Wolf Lodge growing up. They have them all over Michigan, Charlotte. Would not try that. For a number of reasons.
No. I love ranch. I love ice cream. They don't need to be put together, in my opinion.
I don't think so. Yeah, I never had ranch, and I certainly wouldn't try it in that form. But to each their own. If you try it, we want to know about it, right?
Yeah.
Let us know. Okay, send the information to Shelby. When we come back, meet a woman in Iowa stitching comfort and courage for her patients facing some difficult surgeries. Stay close.
Barry Moore, Trump endorsed, Trump approved. Defend American Jobs is responsible for the content of this ad.
A woman in Iowa is using needle and thread to lift up cancer patients and kids facing some scary surgeries.
Kristen Rogers is showing you how she's stitching together comfort, courage, and community.
Thread by thread, Mary Husband of Millersburg uses her sewing skills to help.
These are hats for kids at the hospital that have to have surgery.
They're given to children at the Stead Family Children's Hospital in Iowa City.
They can't choose to have surgery, but they can choose what hat to go into surgery with.
And these fidget pillows go to the Birdhouse Hospice Home, as well as nursing homes.
They can put these on their lap and they can just play with these, and it helps to calm them down.
Mary also makes it easier to socialize over a game of cards.
People at nursing homes can use this. They can still use cards if their hands cannot hold the cards.
And she fixes American flags for the local cemetery, prolonging their life when they start to fray.
Because we want to honor our veterans.
And for the last 6 years, she's sewn 2 to 3 dozen port pillows each month in honor of people who have battled cancer to make car rides more comfortable.
Every time I make them, I just say a little prayer and put them in and take them to the university.
Each port pillow comes with a card.
You buckle your seatbelt and it hurts quite a lot because your strap hits the portocath in the very same spot. So here's a pillow you put on your seatbelt to cover your port so less pressure is felt. It's made by a friend to help you through. Fight with courage. I'm rooting for you.
Mary credits her parents for teaching her to help others, and she raised her children the same way. She and her husband have spent the last 4 decades answering the page when first responders are needed in Millersburg.
Our ambulance is 15 or 30 minutes away.
Now her daughter and son-in-law are on the team too. Mary is not only making life more comfortable for people through her sewing and saving lives on the quick response team, she also helped breathe new life into the town's ballpark.
It's a place of pride again because we've lost a lot of businesses in town, so now we have the ballpark.
She plays a very important role.
At English Valley Care Center, Mary decorates trees in resident rooms for each holiday.
They're simple, but they sure bring a lot of joy to them.
They're a conversation starter.
Sometimes Mary's granddaughters help with the decorations. Her parents drive to help other people, reaching a fourth generation.
She's got her granddaughters involved in our auxiliary, and they send letters and cards to all the veterans for Veterans Day. And she just is getting them growing up in the same way.
Mary is the fabric of her community.
I don't think things would even happen sometimes if she wasn't there.
Impacting countless lives.
A seamstress gonna say, what the heck?
One stitch at a time.
Climb in for just $349 a month. Ford SUVs, adventure your way.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
Despite the fact that we do have these recent stories in the news, that this is exceedingly uncommon. These are really rare, typically isolated cases.